Heritage is important to all the major car brands, certainly it is to Jaguar. Here's the new F-Type. The question is, how strong is the link between one of these and one of these?
Let's not leave that question hanging. The link is there, but it's wholly emotional. That half-century Golf creates dramatically different cars, right down to their sound. Yet, though this F-Type feels, well, new, more complex, more of the moment, there's a real sense of lineage. The F shape breaks the mould, and that's great. Retro styling doesn't work for Jaguar anymore. Yet, history isn't neglected. The stylists specifically credit the Series 1 E-Type as an inspiration, and since I knew a bloke who happened to have one of those, it only seemed right to organise this meeting.
So here I am at last, driving this boyhood dream, an E-Type Jaguar. Now, the owner, Robin Kidd, had said to me that I'd probably find it a little bit, it's not generously sized inside, but I am generously sized, but I'd say in my defence it's not so much my girth, but my height. As you can see, my head's hitting the roof. But what a lovely car to drive. I mean, everything, the steering is sublime. It's just, you're just guiding it through corners. Listen to that lovely 4.2 litre engine. Love all these little switches, just everything. It just reminds you that, I mean, by today's standards, it's a pretty simple car, but by the standards of the day, well, everything you want.
This E-Type shape has been bewitching from the moment it was unveiled at the Geneva Motor Show in '61. Famously, even a Mr. E Ferrari was left gobsmacked then. Yet the F is hardly playing second fiddle. The look, not least in this colour, obviously makes massive impact. And whereas the E is the car that ultimately looks faster than it is, the F is just the opposite, thanks to a suite of supercharged engines, topped by the stupendous V8 here today. In keeping with the sense of Brit history and Britishness of this day, I thought I'd arrange a family reunion with a surprise twist.
And it's been great having the F-Type and the E-Type together, but there's another link to this story, and it's found here in this hangar at Ohakere Air Force Base.
So here we have it, a Supermarine Spitfire, Britain's premier fighter throughout World War II. If you could think of it as the E-Type of the skies, I suppose. If you think finding a Series 1 E-Type is hard, try looking for an airworthy Spit. The production count of this Mark 9 was the second highest for the type, over 5,500 built, yet just a handful remain. Brendan Deere, who owns this beautiful aircraft, pointed out to me that many Spitfires, this one included, were built at a special wartime factory in Britain's Midlands. PV-270 was born in 1944. After the war, the Castle Bromwich aircraft factory became a car plant, producing a quirky off-roader that captivated the world. Several years ago, Jaguar moved in alongside Jet Land Rover because it needed room to build a new sports car. There is a further tie between this E and this Spitfire. What you see here now is the result of meticulous restoration, driven by strong personal motivation. Robin Kidd is the mechanic turned garage owner, who has known and coveted E-Type since boyhood. This car is an exact reproduction of one he owned as a young man. He always vowed he would one day renew the affair.
In 1961 I was an apprentice working in Glasgow, and I recall two young lads coming in with a new E-Type. They were entering it in the Monte Carlo Rally. They had to fit ice tyres. They had to take spare ice tyres with them, and they got us to drill a hole right through the roof and put a large bolt through the two tyres and put them on top of the car, which was criminal to do, but that's what they wanted, so we did it, and probably had a desire to own one after that. It was a wonderful car.
Brendan Deere's a plain nut. Further, his uncle is Alan Deere, a great New Zealand Spitfire ace with the Royal Air Force. Brendan found the means to salute his relation, indeed all Kiwi wartime pilots, after he found this aircraft in Burma.
I think for me, you've only got to look at a Spitfire and you see perhaps what most people will see as the most beautiful aircraft ever designed. And when you combine that with the sound that comes out of that Rolls-Royce Merlin, it's a magical combination. And at any air show in the world, it holds thousands of people spellbound, and just the same for me.
What a fabulous opportunity to drive that E-Type, a real realisation of a boyhood dream for me. But there really is an emotional link that spans the 50 years between these two cars. It's to do with sight and sound and styling and sensation. When I was 5 years old, I remember seeing my first E-Type and I was absolutely captivated by it. I think if I was a 5-year-old now, I'd be just as captivated by